Wooting is undeniably the king of Hall effect keyboards. By that I mean every single keyboard that is planned to be released or has been released will be compared directly to a Wooting. Now, because of how popular Wooting is just based off the 60% release, the gaming community and the keyboard community all know about it. So when they announced the Wooting 80HE, it was one of the most anticipated keyboards of 2024. So let's see if this was worth the wait or worth the money. Let's start with an unboxing. I didn't opt for the pre-build. I have the module and case to assemble. But for accessories, it's pretty standard. We have our cable, keycap and switch puller, and some feet at different angles. By default, the case has rubber feet angling the board at 2.8 degrees. And without being too in-depth about everything, here's a quick rundown of the specs. The case I have is made from PCR, and this is the Frost variant. The texture on it is pretty good. It doesn't feel too cheap, and included in the case we have our case foam. Now onto the module, it comes pre-assembled, which is really good for beginners. And on that note, at the back we actually have a bunch of scribbles or details on what each part of the PCB does, and all of that is on some sort of a tape mod. We have a PC plastic switch plate. It is definitely one of my favorite upgrades from the Wooting 60. Just by changing the material of the plate, the keyboard will sound a lot better. Now we have north-facing perky RGB as well as some pre-loop screw-in stabilizers installed. And of course, I have the Leaker switches V2. This time around, they are pre-looped. So after a pretty simple and quick assembly, I am ready to use and try out my Wooting 80HE. Now what's so special about this keyboard? In very simple terms, it's a 80% Wooting keyboard that sounds better and feels nicer. That's about it. The community has been asking Wooting for a bigger layout ever since the 60HE was released, because 60% isn't exactly a very practical layout, which I actually can agree on, but compared to the 60% could be swapped. In terms of cases, we could use other cases from KBD fans and we could upgrade it to sound a little better. But with this Wooting 80, we cannot do that because of how the layout is. So this really limits how upgradable the Wooting 80 is, which kind of affects how the keyboard community will like it or not. But to be honest, the best part of a Wooting keyboard is its features and software. It has all the basic features we know: custom actuation point, rapid trigger, rapid snappy, and dynamic keystroke. And one of the newer features is this LED bar. It's able to indicate a bunch of things like the profile, caps lock, or displaying the pressure real time of your key presses. Now, of course, I had to test it out on some games, and honestly, it's a Wooting, you know? If you're upgrading from a 60HE, the biggest difference you will feel is how the keyboard feels. The 80HE feels a lot softer and smoother, probably thanks to the gasket mount and V2 switches. It's actually a very drastic difference. I have been using the 60HE with V1 switches for the longest time ever, and when I tried the switches on the 80HE, it's a totally different keyboard. And in terms of how it feels and comparing it to all the other HE keyboards I've tried, this ranks top 2. Which also brings me to sound. I left the stabilizers on these stock, and I honestly didn't have any expectations, or I didn't expect much at all, to be honest. But to my surprise, it actually sounds good. Not just for a Wooting, but as a keyboard itself. The combination of the V2 switches, dampening, and gasket mount creates this really soft and somewhat deep sounding board. But finally, I'm gonna talk about the price. Fully assembled with a PCR case, it's gonna be $200 US. But honestly, I would recommend going the module way, which is what I bought. Get a module, get a PCR case, and Leaker switches. It's gonna be about $190 because I'm pretty sure most of us have a keycap set that we prefer compared to the usual gamer keycaps. And I'm not gonna touch on the zinc alloy case because I haven't tried it and I don't have one, so I'm pretty sure there are many reviews out there that will talk about it. But at this current price point of $190, I think it's a very fair price. Hall effect keyboards are definitely really worth your money, especially if you play FPS games. It's not gonna make you a god gamer, it's just gonna make the experience of your gaming a little smoother and a little more fun. And now that it actually sounds pretty decent, I would actually recommend it to the custom keyboard community as well. And one of the main reasons why Wooting is so popular is its aftercare. I think Wooting's customer service and aftercare is something they take a lot of pride in. Before I continue with this topic, I'm not sponsored, there is no affiliate whatsoever, I'm not getting paid whatsoever, there's nothing on the line. This opinion is based off my own experience. Wooting listens to the community, and I have talked to local authorized vendors who sell Wooting and how they work together. Wooting actually takes the time and the effort to actually prioritize aftercare and customer service. They really do try their best because it really means a lot to customers who are gonna wait for their Wooting 80 for a month or 2 months. So this isn't exactly a very long video. Wooting's features like custom actuation point, rapid trigger, there are many other videos out there that explain them countless times. But I hope my opinion on the Wooting 80 has helped you understand it and understand what the hype is about, which is also why I wanted to post it as fast as possible. So definitely do check out the Wooting 80 if you're interested. It will be linked down below, not affiliate, no codes whatsoever. But aside from that, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you enjoyed my content. Comment your thoughts on the Wooting 80HE down below. Pretty sure many of you have many opinions on it. Like the video if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.